When kids are little, parents, I think, ought to be much stricter than they are. And as the principles are internalized, the older the child gets, the more restrictions and rules should be lifted, not applied. So unfortunately, a lot of Christian parents, that when the kids are little, they just sort of run the show. Because they can sin without people dying. They can, all right, it's embarrassing when the kid flips out at Walmart or whatever, but no blood, no foul. And so parents indulge sin. And then when the kids hit adolescence and it gets to the point where they can now buy drugs, or they can get somebody pregnant, or they can get pregnant, the lack of discipline starts to show up at that level, and the parents panic and they start putting rules on. And so it's lawless until they get to a certain age, and then the kids get grounded and disciplined and restrictions and it ought to be the other way around. Little kids ought to have life defined for them. Mom should cut their meat for them. They should do everything according to what their parents say. And as they get older and they've internalized the principles, you start taking restrictions off. So when our oldest daughter was 16, for example, I told her, okay, Becca, you can watch any movie you want. We believe we've taught you right. We believe you've internalized the standards. It's up to you. If the kids ask you to go to a movie, that's your decision. And she had this odd collision, because we were the straight-laced ones in her class, where the kids were talking, I'm dying to see this movie, but my parents would flip out. My parents would, and Becca was able to say, well, I could go if I wanted. And they said, what?
But she didn't want to.
But I don't want to, right? And that's what you want, is you want a new covenant sort of approach. I will write my laws on their hearts and on their minds. And I've said this so many times that I'd like to say it here. Your job as a parent is not to get your kids to conform to the standard. Your job is to get your kids to love the standard. That's the task. Parents should want their children to find God's ways of doing things altogether lovely. And that's what you want to strive for. Not to get them to conform to it, muttering under their breath until they're 18 and can join the Navy.